What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about some crypto mining stocks, crypto-related stocks just in general. We're gonna be talking about CleanSpark for Navi, Marathon for Bear, Bitfarms, and IREN for Freddie M, Riot for Tony Tacos, BTBT for User WQ. And then we're going to talk about MSTY and MicroStrategy for Cryptothon and SOXL for Bruce. Those are the stocks, the ETFs, the trusts, the whatever that we're going over today. So starting off with CleanSpark here. On a weekly last week, right? We closed off slightly higher high, but kind of a bearish looking wick. You know, the last time we saw something like this was here, and then we actually ended up closing the next week higher. So will CleanSpark go up? You know, that's debatable. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. I know that I've been calling for this, so you guys, nothing's really changed since I made my last video. The way the RSI looks on the daily, the way that things look on the weekly, it just, to me, it would make sense that we would pull back to about $11.90. So I'm not gonna beat around too much on that. And I'm gonna pause the music. I'm sorry, I forgot that I left that on. But that's CleanSpark, probably around 11.90 or lower is where I'm thinking. No, my opinion has not changed for that. Marathon also, I think, goes lower. It could bounce from here, but I would think with that kind of finish on last week, with that kind of volume, you're at least earmarked for prices below $19 again. Above 18, but below 19. If not, what you could do, and it's a very solid chance that you could go all the way down to about like $13, $12. Let's see. Low to high here, maybe just this high, this relative high. Yeah, your 618's right there, man. I'm good. 1258 to 1131 golden ratio, right? I was just eyeballing it. That was just an eyeball draw, and that was literally right at your relative 618. So golden ratio around 1160, or sorry, 1260 to 1131. That's where I think you're going. If you cannot hold this 18 to 19, or what is it, 19 to no, it was below $19, so $18 to $19 area. That's Marathon. Moving lower nonetheless. Bitfarms now. Bitfarms, I had a few of you talk about this, and just because I don't give you the shout out doesn't mean that I don't love you guys. I love every single one of you. I read all your comments. I appreciate all of you. I only give the shout out to the first person that requests it. Okay, there's somebody else that was asking what I think about Bitfarms, and I don't really know a lot about Bitfarms. To me, what I think about Bitfarms, if I'm being blunt, I think it's overhyped. That's my opinion. But maybe it's underhyped, man. Maybe it's got a lot to show. I don't know. I hear all these like promising things from people who are in crypto, and they like Bitfarms, but it doesn't seem to me that they're using their brains. It seems to me that they like Bitfarms because they like the team, not because they actually like the product or the company, or like how they're. It's like they just like the people behind it. So it's cool. It's cool to be popular, but like I want to be in the company that's successful, not the company that's popular. And sometimes popularity means success, but sometimes it doesn't. You're going up against behemoths like Marathon and CleanSpark now, making a name for itself. But enough of that. I think Bitfarms will do good. I think it has a lot of potential to grow this cycle. But for the time being, just like the other mining stocks, you guessed it, I think it's going down. I do think it's going to go down. I think from this low to this high here, likely, yeah, man. Likely we're going to see $1.56 to $1.22. That's my genuine opinion. So that's Bitfarms. Moving on to IREN, Iris Energy. Also looks like it wants to move down, probably around 462 or lower. Low to high here. Yeah, $5 to $4.70. If you don't hold that, you're probably going to move down to about $3.90. And if you don't hold that $3.90, $3.95 area, you're going down to $2.79 or $2.05. And I really wouldn't be surprised if that $2.80 to $2.05 area is on the table. But this might be your saving grace if you hold that area there. So at about $3.95, $3.90. That's IREN. I think it's going down as well. A lot of these, you guys, I'm moving through them so fast because things haven't changed. We haven't done anything. Like, look at what we've done over the past like couple weeks. We've just moved sideways. Yeah, Riot also looks like it wants to move down. It could move up. This one actually looks somewhat bullish compared to the other ones. Just because it's in like this consolidation phase, I feel like I've had a hard time with it every single video I've made recently. And it would look like you'd want to move up from here. But if you break out to the downside, man, you're going to go, let's see, to your next kind of like relative fib area, which would be at least to 820, if not 659. You're at 1224 now, so you could have a big drop ahead of you. I'm kind of anticipating that 820 to 660 is what I'm anticipating. But to be fair as well, with how you look, it wouldn't be crazy if you moved up to about 1657, 1650, $17, somewhere in there. I don't know. It depends. Let's see how you do tomorrow opening up next week, but I'm not optimistic, man. I think you want to go lower as well. That's Riot. And just because you move up does not mean you're absolved from going lower. BTBT, Bit Digital. Another one that I don't know a whole lot about. It might be overhyped. You guys, I'm going to get on a sidetrack before we do BTBT. Nobody requested this, but Argo Blockchain, RBK, that's what it is, RBK. Argo Blockchain. They were up 33% last week, and none of you have requested that. And I don't know a lot about Argo Blockchain. I really don't know anything about it, but I just know that they're part of like crypto mining, at least to my knowledge. And the weekly RSI doesn't look too bad at all, actually. This thing, all the other crypto miners are going down, and this thing actually went up 33% last week with decent volume. Like it's like the exact opposite of what all the crypto miners look like. So I'm just saying, I don't know. This one might be overlooked, and sometimes it's the ones that are overlooked that are worth getting into. But again, don't take my word on that. I do not know anything about this company. I haven't looked into it. If you want to invest, if you want to put money into this, first off, it pumped 35% last week on one day, okay? And second off, you should do your own research, right? Because this is still a lower high. It absolutely could come back down. We've seen these big pumps just to come down, big pumps just to come down, you know, but it stood out to me. It's just something that stood out to me. It's on my notes. It's on one of the mining stocks that I look at regularly. I don't talk about it. This is like the first time I've ever actually like talked about it in a while, but that's just because nobody really requests it ever. But I don't know. I thought it looked interesting. BTBT looking interesting as well, though you do have somewhat of a higher high in your RSI. You're at these like high points while having lower highs in your price. The volume's nice. That's actually a nice day. That actually is a really nice day to end your week. I'm not going to lie, BTBT. That's a good day. Bouncing off of key areas. Bouncing off the 40, dude? Huh. Kind of looking good, actually, BTBT. You're at $2.87 now. You could move back down to about 250, 260, somewhere in that area. Find support there and then move up to 366, 392. I'm kind of bullish on this one, which I feel like I'm going to be wrong because everything else is bearish, and I doubt this one breaks away from the pack, but maybe it does. But it doesn't look half bad, I must add. And you close right at your. It depends what you do next week. If you have a rejection off of this next week, and really if you get prices below 240 again, then yeah, it's on. You're going to $1.50 or $1. So just be aware that 240 is like the line in the sand. If you cross it, down to the depths you go, man, because then you absolutely have an M pattern. You're going to go down. But if you can somehow get above 360, I would have hope for you. But until then, let's leave it up for fate to decide. That's BTBT. Those are all the mining stocks. Let's talk about MSTY. Yield max for MicroStrategy. And if we're looking at this on the daily, it looks pretty bullish. Yeah, you got bearish divergence, but a lot of volume. You probably want to come down. I would think you want to come down. Let's look at MicroStrategy. That'll be a little bit more telling. MSTR. Go to the weekly here. A lot of volume, man. A lot of volume. You hit a 93 in your RSI. Very hot, very good looking RSI, man. You could tank all the way down here, and you still got this like higher low trend. So whatever, you're fine. You probably do pull back. I think you do. You've got uncertainty, these indecision candles at the top here. That's not normally a good sign. You know, kind of here you had the same thing, and then you went down, right? You had a bullish doji candle with a bearish hammer, and then down. Both doji candles in your respect, right? In their own respects. You had a spinning top here after moving down, and then you kind of started to move up. You know, you get these indecision candles at a directional focal point, whether it's coming up or coming down. It would generally mean that you're going to switch directions for the time being, is all I'm trying to say. Daily RSI looks like crap. High, lower high, lower high. That's two lower highs. That is double bearish divergence. You have a high here, higher high, and a higher high, also slightly higher high. Decreasing volume as you're going. Yeah, MicroStrategy is probably going to go down. So Misty itself will also probably go down. I want to look at the monthly. What the heck, man? Is this right? It is. It's just, I don't know why, but that just looks so weird to me. Top to bottom, you made a reach for your 1272, your 1618 area, but you just couldn't quite get to it. It's not common with this kind of maneuver. It's not common to not reach your 1272, but it does happen, and that's okay. You'll probably pull back to about $1,300 to $1,000. I doubt you break below $1,000, but being at $1,700, even $1,315 is quite a ways away. So buckle up. The next week or two or three will probably be a little bit bumpy to the downside, but then you'll probably move up. I mean, maybe this whole month is red. It's okay if it is, but inevitably you will reach higher. The way this fib looks, you guys, how clean it looks, how great it looks, I don't see a scenario where in this crypto bull cycle over the next year and a half, I don't see a scenario where you don't at least hit this price, and very solid chance that you could go up here. So anybody that bought up here, you were thinking about selling up here, but you missed your chance because the high is at about $2,000. We're at $1,700 now. I am expecting MicroStrategy to move down, but what if not, man? Because again, I was saying it's very common. It's much more common to go up to your 1272 before you reject. Doing this kind of like stopping in the middle and then pulling back, that's not as common. What if I'm wrong? I can be wrong. And part of risk management, you guys, is whenever you own a large part of risk management really is like not playing the game, right? Don't put yourself in a position where you can miss out on the opportunities that you are already sure of. And one thing is for sure, one thing in my opinion is certain, this price is all but like, it's essentially, I can't say guaranteed, it's very likely going to happen. And whether it happens in a week, whether it happens in 6 months, you know, do you want to play the game with it here at 1,300 whenever it could literally grow a whole nother like basically 100% from here? I wouldn't want to play the game with it, man. I would just wait. I don't think that we're going to see a long phase of, you know, drop like this or consolidation. I think soon, sometime before June, if I really had to guess, would be when we move up here. But, you know, this month of April, it could be a red month because we have the halving and everything going on. I don't know how MicroStrategy is going to react with that, but, you know, if we go off the last halving back in April or May, it was relatively neutral around then, right? You weren't actually moving up into it, so it's totally different circumstances. So I don't know. Anyways, probably moving down is all I'm trying to say. 1,000 to 1,300, somewhere in that area. That's where I think you're going. Finish this bad boy up with SO XL, Direxion Daily Semiconductor Bull. This is not crypto at all, but I thought it was. You know what, Bruce? If you're watching this one, man, I'm going to make a video specifically with this one and TSM. So I'm not going to do the TA here. I'll just do it in another one because I thought for some reason this was a crypto thing, but it's clearly not. So you guys, that's all I got for you. If you like the video, hit that like button. Subscribe if you want to see more. BTBT and Riot both look interesting. They might be deceitfully looking interesting, but there are those outliers, man, that the rest of the markets will move down, and you'll have one or two of them that just move up, and Riot and BTBT out of all of them are the most bullish looking charts for the time being, in my opinion. Marathon's kind of close, but at the same time I think it wants to move lower, and I just can't help but think that if Marathon wants to move down, CleanSpark wants to go down, you know, these two top attractions in the mining space, MicroStrategy wants to move down. I can't help but think that all the miners are kind of condemned at that point. But again, there are always those ones that run away from the pack. You know, look at Argo Blockchain, ARBK or ABK. I think it's ARBK, Argo Blockchain. I don't know, guys. It might not even be worth looking into. I really don't know anything about that company. It's just the chart itself stood out to me. So that's all I got. Take care. Hit that like button. I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye-bye.